Sanborn. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So basically, what we'll be focusing on is solving problems in C++ programming. So I'll just go into the internet and then search for different questions we can work on. But you're also welcome to send an email or write in the comment section and recommend any questions you would like to solve. So now let's look at this question. It says Lorraine inherited her grandmother's old cookbook, but all the oven temperatures are given in Fahrenheit, and her oven is only calibrated in Celsius. Write a program to help her. The formula for converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius is C, which is a temperature in degrees Celsius. C is equal to 5 multiplied by F. F is for degrees in Fahrenheit, minus 32 all over 9. So let's go to our IDE. I'm using code blocks here. Let's try and solve this question. So always we start with our hashtag include IO stream, which is for our input output stream. And then we have using our standard namespace std. Okay, let's have our main method or our main function. And then if everything goes to plan, we'll have to return 0, return 0. Okay, now, so in our question, we have to come up with a program which will, every time Lorraine enters a value in degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to convert this to degrees Celsius. So it's good practice in C++ to always use functions, because functions you can call them a number of times. Yes, you can solve this without using functions, but it's recommendable. So let's have a function here, which will be our value returning function. And since temperature is a double, so let's have a double. Then we can give it any name. So let's call it Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm going to use snake casing. You can use the command casing or whichever other casing on C++, whichever you feel comfortable with. So Fahrenheit to Celsius. Then in this function, we will only have one argument, which will also be a double, because we'll be taking a temperature from Lorraine, which is going to be a double. And then let's call it Fahrenheit again, since we'll be taking values in Fahrenheit. And then we said that we want our function to be a value returning function, so we want this to return our given formula. It's going to return 5 into Fahrenheit minus 32. So let's see the Fahrenheit minus 32. And all of this is divided by 9. But then what should be careful of, since we're dividing with the double, so let's also multiply by 1.0, so we don't end up losing our decimals, since you know in C++, if you divide an int with an int, you get an int. Also, if you're going to divide a double, just remember to multiply by 1.0, so you can get back the decimals. Okay, now let's go to our main main method. It will be wise to solve this question using the while loop. Why? Because remember, guys, well, this is a store field Lorraine is using, so it's gonna keep changing values for the temperature. So while and then within our test condition, we'll have true. But what this true means is it means whatever we put into our while loop, as long as it's true, our program will keep on giving us feedback, will keep on giving us results, unless it's no longer true, unless it's false. And then within our program, we will also have a test condition, which will terminate the program in case Lorraine is done with with the cooking. So our first instruction will be to prompt the user enter temperature in Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. Let's declare variable a double. So since temperature is a double, let's call it Fahrenheit temperature. So that's our variable. And then we have a C in. For us in this is where Lorraine will be entering the temperature. So C in Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit temperature. So once we receive the temperature from Lorraine in Fahrenheit, this is when we have to call our function there on top, our Fahrenheit to Celsius function, which will convert its value from Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So let's declare another variable. Again, double, but this time this new variable is going to be our Celsius temperature. Because now it's this value which is converted Celsius temperature. And we assign it our function there on top, which is our Fahrenheit to Celsius. Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then our argument is going to be this Fahrenheit temperature, which has been entered by the user. So it's Fahrenheit temperature. It's Fahrenheit temperature. And we have our statement here to display. So now let's say the temperature in degrees Celsius is, then we have our Celsius temperature. We must have an end line here. So everything will be written on a new line. Okay, I forgot to close it. Oh, forgot an end line. Also an end line here. An end line. Okay, so now before we run our program, I personally like or prefer to use the fail function. So how a fail function works. So how a fail function works, it checks the input or whatever input we get. So in this case, we're dealing with the question that only takes in doubles. So we'll use a fail function to make sure that the user enters a double. If they enter anything else besides a double, we want an error message from the console. So how we go about doing this? So just before our output, we'll have an if statement. An if we'll have an if statement. So our condition will be if in dot fail. This is our fail function. So it checks if the user entered the correct data type. So if in dot fail, then what happens? Then within our if statement, if the user fails to enter double, what happens? We have a in dot clear, which means our program will just clear anything which is not a double in this case. But then if you remember, we said here on our test condition, while this is true, this program will keep on asking the user to enter. So at some point, we want to quit from the program. So we can just have it a character here which will make us exit from the program once we're done working on it. So just below our clear function, we can declare a character. Let's just call it input. So with this input character, what we want to do, we want to check if our user is done inside, and then they want to quit the program. So we'll have a statement for the input, and then we'll have a condition here to clear all the error flags. We also have another if statement within an if statement. So we'll have an if input is equal to q. Remember, a double in C++, a single equal sign is an assignment operator, but then with a double equal sign means that the normal equal sign. In this case, if the user enters a queue, whether it's a small case or uppercase, or there's also data for the uppercase, inputs is equal to uh, q. Then what happens? Then we're going to break out of the program. So this is how the program will terminate once we get failures from the rain processes our results and enter space. So the red run will have to enter Q1 when she's done. It's like a normal stove. Whenever you use a stove, you turn it on, adjust the temperature, and then when you're done, you turn it back to zero. So it's like the basic idea behind this. You're going to run a program, get your values, get your conversions, and then when you're done, you're going to break out of the program by using a Q in lowercase or a Q in uppercase. But we will also want the message so the user can know what's happening. We'll have a CL statement. It's just going to inform our user that this is an invalid entry. So what do you mean here? If you enter anything besides a double, you'll get a message. Invalid entry. Temperature is in temperature is a double data type. So this message will be displayed if our fail function is activated. Okay, yeah, so guys, we're almost done. Before we run our program, we want to clear our input file the processing. So let's first head it up. We'll need to have an include limits. Which is also our library in C++. Then just below our error message, we'll have a cin.ignore function here. And we'll have a numeric limits for our vector stream. Of our vector stream size. This is just to clear our buffer. Then we have our scope resolution operator for our maths function. Let's just put a new line. So we want to do backward slash because our function here, and we'll continue. Yes, guys. So now we're done. Let's run our program and see if it works. If it gives out the desired output. Oh, okay, sorry, because I forgot to close the semicolon here at the end. So now let's debug and run. What's happening is, it's Oh, sorry, guys. Put this out. It's an instruction operator. I was supposed to use an instruction operator. If I'm honest, the back and run. Okay, in it's very tricky. You must remember to put your semicolons. Our program is running. And the temperature in Fahrenheit, let's just have it 50. Temperature in Fahrenheit, or the temperature in degrees Celsius is 10. Enter the intermittent. So you see, it keeps on asking us to enter the temperature until we quit. In this case, let's have a 4. And then let's say you're a user and then you make a mistake. Instead of putting a number, you put a character or a string, and to see what happens. Let's say we put BKH. You see what our program tells us: invalid entry temperature is a double data type, which is why we needed our fail function to check for such errors. Even if you're going to put a special character, let's just put it in special characters here. It will give a message: invalid entry temperature is a double data type. So now to quit, we say we need a queue or uppercase two, and our program is terminated. But I think we should add here for the users to understand. We could just add here enter the temperature in Fahrenheit or Q to exit. So our user will know uh, they will need to enter Q to exit the program. So now let's run again. The temperature in Fahrenheit or Q to exit. Again, let's enter 78. Temperature in degrees Celsius is 25.556. Yes, so guys, and then Q to exit. Yes, so guys, that's how we go about solving this specific problem. So please like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel so we can do more solutions on C++, on our programming C++. Thank you, bye.